Arma 3 is an impressively huge and deep modern military combat simulator that asks you to make your own fun. It doesn't make that too easy, because unlike most shooters that are easily accessible and front-loaded with bombastic set pieces, you're going to require watching a lot of community-made training videos before you can expect to have any kind of fun with it. The large-scale tactical gameplay it offers in return is worth the effort, but it's unnecessarily convoluted throughout and almost openly hostile to newcomers. Altus and Stratus, the two islands that serve as Arma 3's massive military sandboxes, are truly impressive. Whether you're scuba diving to disable mines or overlooking rolling hills that stretch out for miles, everything looks crisp and nearly photorealistic as long as you don't look too close. If you do, you'll notice an obvious amount of recycled assets and many empty buildings. With its overall clinical style, Arma 3 can seem a little boring, but it's forgivable given its sheer scope. Less forgivable is its sound design, which suffers from cheesy electronic music and sound effects that make some actions feel insignificant. This is especially true about vehicle movement and firing. Maybe that's what tanks and helicopters really sound like, but it doesn't change the end result, which makes them feel like toys. Even as a veteran of previous Bohemia Interactive games, I felt comically inept fumbling through my first few hours in Arma 3. With so many different firing modes, stances, movement speeds, and other options, I had difficulty just walking, drawing my weapon, and firing, not to mention using my map or coordinating with a squad. I had to wonder what my fellow squad mates thought of me, the clueless rookie, stumbling into the bushes before I accidentally pulverized myself with a satchel charge I didn't even mean to deploy. Arma 3's lack of a real tutorial makes this problem even worse. Its showcase levels introduce you to increasingly complicated mechanics, but they all do a poor job of explaining how to use these mechanics, or how they may be useful later on. The only real instruction comes in the form of on-screen key prompts. That's an insufficient and boring method to teach you how to fly a helicopter, and practically useless when it comes to explaining more abstract concepts. Because it launched without its single-player campaign, Arma 3 is potentially much more enjoyable when you're playing online with real people. In theory, a server where 100 players are facing another 100 players in a gigantic sandbox could be one of the best shooters I've ever played. But I don't have a clan. It's nice that Arma 3 rewards players with that kind of dedication, but anyone more casual is left with a list of servers half-filled with random people who aren't communicating, and where everything that could go wrong is actively going wrong. Since Arma 3 doesn't offer obvious incentives for players to cooperate or even funnel them to the same areas of its enormous maps, multiplayer is mostly uncurated chaos. I'd rather watch that on YouTube than play it myself. Counterintuitively, smaller matches are way more fun because they make it easier to work with strangers. In one of my best moments, a like-minded teammate and I took down an enemy radio tower. He drove us to the location, we covered each other, I revived him when he was shot, and eventually we got the job done together. This is what developers mean when they talk about emergent gameplay, and it's where Arma 3 shines. On top of everything else, Arma 3 also offers a built-in and easy-to-use mission editor, Steam Workshop integration, and a modding community that brought us the popular, soon-to-be standalone game, DayZ. As its marketing materials insist, Arma 3 really is a platform, and what it may evolve into in the months and years after release adds immeasurable replay value to its $60 asking price.
Mission update. Pegasus neutralized. Over.
Arma 3's complexity is a double-edged sword. It takes a long time, but once you're comfortable enough with its mechanics to take advantage of them under pressure, you can engage in large-scale, tactical combat that's simply not offered elsewhere. Minor issues with sound and world detail are forgivable, so Arma 3's nearly endless content is definitely worth experiencing. You just have to be willing to suffer through a lot of annoying usability issues before you can understand why. For more on Arma 3, keep it on IGN.